There we go. Okay. There we are. Now we're live with the Tarot Tribe. All right. Sorry for the mic problems, but that's what happens when you take almost a month off from doing this. You forget how to do everything. But thank you all for being here tonight. It's great to see everyone. I know it's been a long time, about a month or so, but I hope you've all been having a wonderful summer. I've had all kinds of exciting things going on, and so here we are. And for those of us who are new, and I do see a few new people in here tonight, I believe, such as Andrew 88775. So just so you all know, we will begin with a collective reading. I'll pull some cards and get some messages from Spirit for all of us as a group. And then I will get right into your individual readings. And if anyone would like a reading tonight and you haven't already requested, please just type reading in your chat along with your question or topic if you have one. If you don't, totally okay. And my wonderful wife and moderator, Candy Hearts Art, will get you into the queue right away. We usually go for a couple hours, so we do sort of get filled up. So if you haven't requested a reading and you want one, do not hesitate. Don't be shy. Please get it in early so that we can get to everyone who wants one. And with that, we will get rolling in just a second. I do want to also say hello to Patty. Thank you for showing up, Patty. And Panya, it's great to see you here tonight. And I'm sure some of the other regulars will show up. So let us pull some cards for the collective tonight. We'll start with the good old-fashioned Rider-Waite Tarot. Here we go. Let's see what Spirit has for us for this week. Where's my control panel? There we go. Okay. There we go. Alrighty, I'm going to shuffle up for the evening. Let me just make a few little adjustments here. It's a little better. Okay. Well, there's some cards for us. Ooh, some big cards. Let's get one more. The Hanged Man and the Wheel of Fortune. Oh my. Welcome in, Reiki Master Sharon. Well, I hope you are recovering well from surgery. Thank you for joining us. It's always an honor to have you here, but especially on a day of recovery like that. So we'll be happy to pull some cards for you, Sharon. But right now, this is the group reading. This is our collective reading. Ooh, Queen of Pence. Okay. Bring us in just a little bit. There we go. That's better. Okay. Just so we can all see. So, what do we have for the tribe for this week? Well, so I think this is definitely me. I definitely identify with this. I don't. Let me know if you all do as well. But I've definitely been feeling the Hanged Man lately. So I've had a lot of sort of good and positive things going on, but sort of change and some discomfort with that. So the Hanged Man definitely tells us that we are going through and will go through some less than comfortable situations, some things that challenge us a bit and aren't necessarily the most fun and exciting or relaxing things to go through. But Hangman says, stick with it, lean into that, don't run away from it. This is a case where that discomfort is not a sign that you should pull away from this, but you should embrace it, because there's some growth and transformation on the other side of this discomfort, and perhaps even enlightenment, if we should be so bold to say that. So that's definitely a big thing. That's a big theme, I think, that's been creeping in for all of us. Along with that, we have the Wheel of Fortune. So really, some of this is karma, not so much punishment for bad deeds. I think we often think of karma that way, especially here in the West. But karma isn't really about the universe punishing you for doing wrong, but it's really about working through things that you may have brought even from a previous life. And also that, again, going along with the theme of this discomfort here, this idea that something better is going to come out of it, as the wheel turns, our time will come back around. And we have actually a lot to gain, again, despite these challenges that we're going through. So all of this is working for our greater good. And the final outcome, really going into the next week or two, really the rest of the summer, I think, is this Queen of Pentacles. So this gives us a greater joy in our material abundance and presence, and also our physical lives as well, everything that is material in the world. So we have greater prosperity and riches heading our way as we come through this discomfort and we go through this transformation. And I would say that that also comes with a sense of peace and security, a sense of vitality and health, and in a very sort of calm and restful way, with a greater sense of our inner lives, a greater understanding of who we really are, even the parts of us that we aren't always aware of. So I see a lot of good things emerging from this discomfort in the next week or two, and as we head into August. And maybe some of the discomfort is just the heat of the summer. It's been very warm here. We've been about 100 degrees every day this week, so that might be a little bit of it. But there's some bigger things going on with that as well. So, well, Sharon, I'm glad that your surgery went well and they were able to remove whatever they needed to, and I certainly will be wishing for a speedy recovery for you. So, and you will be third as we get to our readings for the personal readings for the day. There we all are in the queue. So we will get right back to it. Let's get right to it for Ruby. Our first reading is a love reading for the evening. I love that. Love is abound. Summer love, if you will. It's a beautiful thing. Okay. Oh, I hope so, Panya. Otherwise, I'm not very good at this, am I? It'll be interesting to see the turnout tonight. I didn't really advertise. I've had quite a bit of stuff going on lately. Some sort of ups and downs with the day job at Hobby Lobby, and actually also interviewed at another frame shop and was actually made an offer there, which I decided to decline. And that took up a lot of my energy the last few weeks. We had a lot of drama at Hobby Lobby, and it's kind of a whirlwind. So that's part of why I haven't been on the last few weeks, but I do hope to start going strong again through the summer and into the fall. So, okay, so Ruby, what can the universe tell about my future life partner as any aspect related to him. All right, Ruby, let's see what we can find out about your future partner. Let's see what guidance Spirit has for us this evening. Okay, last shuffle there. All righty. Okay, Ruby, what do we have for you? Well, 6 of Pentacles. Oh, there's that Hanged Man again. Okay. Well. Alrighty, well. So your future partner, I can tell you a few things about your future partner. First things first, your future partner is someone who, this person is a generous person. So they give freely and willingly of what they have to others. And they'll be giving to you, of course, but other people around you as well. And they're also someone who is a bit wise about who and how much they give of themselves and to whom they give to. Because we all have people in our lives, we've all experienced this, where we've tried to help somebody or been charitable towards others, and in some sense, maybe it was not the right person or the right time. And maybe they became like, they took advantage of you or something like that. Or you just feel like your help isn't appreciated. They throw it back in your face or something like that. So 6 of Coins is this very strong reminder, especially the balance in this person's hand, that it's good to be charitable and giving, but we must be mindful of that and be discerning to whom we give and how much we give of ourselves. Because it serves no purpose to help others if we are not taking care of ourselves at all. So your future partner will have a sense of generosity and charity to him or her. This person also, and here's the Hanged Man, so that same theme, this will be someone who has been through some things in life, who has had some sort of deep and profound moments in their life, some challenges that they made through and transformed into a greater wisdom and understanding. So this will also be someone who is fairly wise and somewhat worldly, I would say. And along with the charity piece of this is also someone who is quite both nurturing and industrious. So someone who is doing fairly well for themselves. Someone is not somebody you're going to have to take care of financially, but they will have the capacity to care for you and will want to do so. So they have many, many different crops growing in their garden. We see all the abundance here in the 9 of Coins behind this person. And so that's like a beautiful growing thing. So your future partner, your life partner, is definitely going to be, I mean, anyone that you would spend the rest of your life with is someone who's going to be a good person, good for you, and have a lot to offer. Those are some key sort of facets of who this person is. So they're headed your way. I can't say when. And I would caution you, don't search too hard to find them either. They will come to you. The right person, this person will find you. Certainly be open to experiences and other people, but don't get into like a desperate search kind of thing where you're just going out with people left and right and that kind of thing, because that usually just sort of blocks this sort of manifestation and attraction. So I hope that finds you well, Ruby, and thank you so much for your question tonight. And we'll move on to Andrew. I'll try not to go too fast tonight. We don't have a ton of people yet, so that's A-okay. And if any of you are new here, please do subscribe to the channel, like this video, and click the bell icon so that you always get updates when we're going live or other content is uploaded as well. I am getting back to making some YouTube videos about reading tarot and living a more spiritual life and personal transformation and all those fun things. And I have some of that already on my YouTube. So don't hesitate to check any of that out. All right, Andrew, general reading for, general for August. Okay, great. All right, Andrew, here's your general reading for the month of August. Well, we have Page of Swords. That's cool. The Hermit. More profound enlightenment. And a lot of these big transformational cards, we're all kind of pushing into this greater wisdom. All right, Andrew. So Andrew, you're going to encounter, there's going to be a new person in your life, and not a romantic, like not a romance, but a friend or acquaintance, more like maybe a coworker, or fellow student if you're in school. But there's going to be someone who enters your life who perhaps acts a bit, they have a very youthful energy to them, even if they're not younger than you. They sort of interact and they speak and communicate with a very youthful, feel and presence and energy. And they might even be someone who maybe sort of provokes you a little bit in a kind of youthful way as well. Not necessarily in a mean or cruel way, but kind of just like that young sort of like, poking a little bit of fun at you kind of thing. So this person is somehow going to enter your life. And at first maybe will cause you a little bit of concern, like it seems friendly, but also, maybe it gets to you a little bit how this person sort of acts and interacts with you. But keep in mind that they are, again, like this more immature kind of persona. And to some extent, they might actually be sort of secretly admiring you as a person. So there's something to be gained there. And if you find that they're really getting on your nerves, take a step back. And that's what the Hermit's really about. The Hermit is about practicing some emotional detachment from things, stepping back and really seeing things for what they are. So at first, this person might get on your nerves a little bit, but if you pull back a bit and you let some of that go, and you really kind of look at who they are, the kind of person they are, I think there's a deeper wisdom for you here. I think maybe you're meant to befriend this person. And in some ways, maybe you're meant to provide a little bit of sort of leadership or mentorship for them. And so that's King of Swords here. This is you stepping into a little bit greater leadership. And again, it might be, I see this as like a very casual kind of thing. So it could be through the workplace, through career kind of thing. And so the interaction might be based around the work that you're doing, or it might just be someone again, an acquaintance, a friend or something. But you are kind of meant to give them a little bit of guidance and direction. There's someone who they are someone who looks up to you. So be on the lookout for that. And if you lean into that and do so, I think that's going to provide you with some growth and a greater sense of your own power in the world. So be on the lookout for that. It's not going to be this huge life. It's not going to turn your life upside down, but it might just sort of come out of nowhere, and you're like, oh, this person, is kind of annoying me or something. So I hope that makes some sense, Andrew, and let me know if it doesn't. Yeah, that's kind of what August holds in store for you. So hopefully that person ends up being a friend and confidant when all is said and done. Okay, we have Panya will get you into the queue as well. Again, thank you for showing up tonight, Andrew. Well, and just bear with me while I get all this updated. There we go. Get the queue updated. Okay. And Sharon, you're coming up next. I think we'll change up to the B deck. This is the deck that the last time we were on a month ago. This was my brand new deck, my brand new tarot deck. And we kind of debuted this. I kind of looked through it and stuff with everyone, which was pretty cool. And then we did everyone's readings with it. That was a really busy night. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you for the feedback. Okay, Sharon, let's get your reading. And one thing that comes to me even before I pull cards is I do want to say that Spirit is telling me that your recovery will go very well and it will be relatively speedy as well. So you do have that to look forward to. And I think overall you're going to feel better and feel better and healthier and more exuberant on the other side of all this. So well, thank you, Ruby. Okay, Sharon. So, general reading for you. What's heading forward for you? Yeah, more protein, Sharon. Yeah, so we eat a pretty high protein diet here in this household, and I totally understand. And I don't give a lot of diet advice. I'm always happy to share things that work for me, but everyone's body is so different. So, but protein is generally a good thing, I would say. And I know how hard it is to sort of get away from sugar and carbs. We definitely loved our sugar and carbs, and occasionally we still do, but glad to see. All right, so what's coming up for you this summer, Sharon? Let's see. The old B deck. I haven't actually pulled any cards out of this deck since we read for everyone last month. So the Seven of Swords, ooh, the Wheel, and the Hermit. The Hermit and the Wheel. There we go. So a lot of the themes are very strong. I think we're all kind of on the same wavelength here. So, Seven of Swords. Oh, welcome in. He is the artist. So, Sharon, first I see the Seven of Swords here. And this is a sense of like moving away from some conflict. Sort of getting some resolution and kind of distancing yourself from some struggles or conflict in your life. And some of that might be, clearly you've gone through whatever this health thing is, if you've had surgery today. So some of it is moving past that, I think, and again, moving towards feeling stronger and whatnot. But other things in your life will sort of follow suit. So I sense that maybe there is some ongoing conflict. It might be a minor one. It might not even be like one that's really like raging present in your life right at this moment. It might be something that's kind of just been simmering. But there is a sense of you moving past some confliction in your life. Can't say whether it's another person or more of your own internal conflict. Often they go hand in hand, but you're going to be getting some distance and clarity from that, moving away from whatever it is. So that's really a good positive step. And again, with that, we have the wheel, or the wheel of fortune. So this is the turning of things. This is going to be an improvement. This conflict will find some sort of resolution that is satisfactory and good for you. And again, there's always this sense of like past lives. Okay, so some inner love dynamics. Okay, and that's where a lot of the conflict is. Well, that makes even more sense because so often these things do go hand in hand with our physical health. So as one clears up, the other will come with it. And so the wheel here is interesting because, again, the wheel always, to me, almost always points to some past life type things. And that might be something to explore in a greater way at some point. If you are really wanting to tackle this inner conflict and your struggles with love and those dynamics head on. Some of that you struggle with in this lifetime might be residual, might be from past life. And so investigating and exploring your past lives might be a useful direction to go in or consider going in. After you've had some time to physically recover. I wouldn't dive into this today, but something you might want to explore. And I think that's a good thing for you to do this summer. And then sort of the moving out of this, again, here we have the hermit again. So this greater wisdom, this more spiritual view of things. And I know you're already a very spiritual person if you are, you are indeed a Reiki master. But it's going to come through that. And so that's a lot of the exploration of this with this conflict. It is of a spiritual nature. And man, it just really, yeah. Yeah, I think there's some more. I think there's just a call here for a little more of that, maybe some more past life exploration, some kind of like a little bit of a spiritual journey here. Again, once you get to a place of recovery and kind of feeling better, because these things can be heavy unto themselves, but there's a lot of sort of clarity coming and enlightenment here. And so that's really beautiful. That is coming to you, and I hope that gives you some direction this summer. So thank you for your request, Sharon. And again, welcome in. He is the artist. Welcome back. We'll add you into the queue. Okay. And Panya, you're up next. Okay, Panya's question. Guidance for self and family to move literally and figuratively, gracefully, calmly, and adequately over the next 2 to 3 weeks. Okay. Wonder what that's all about. The card like wanted to fly out and then it just hit itself in the deck again. That's interesting. It's a lively deck, the B deck. Okay, Panya, what have we got? Queen of Swords. The Four of Swords. Ooh. It's that card of rest. Oh, and the moon. The moon. Oh, lovely. So we've got this move going on, and it seems like you have a literal move, and then there is sort of the more figurative, like moving forward and moving through life. So first thing is the Queen of Swords. So this is this is that queenly energy. It's a energy of influence and communication. So I mean, this is really you in this scenario, Panya. Is you are the leader here. It really is your place, and the family really does follow you. And that's not to say that you don't communicate with the other people in your family and you don't take their ideas into account. But at the end of the day, like if you say it, it'll happen. Your word goes. And so you have a lot of capacity here to lead your family through these changes, through this change. And so that's on you. And so if you feel like unsure of that, be confident and know that you have that leadership and that ability. There's also a reminder here that at times, even though you really are in charge, and a lot of it sort of falls on your shoulders, that it is okay here and there in moments, especially if you're feeling a bit overwhelmed with all of this, to take a step back. So certainly like lead the charge, give everyone direction in terms of what's going on and how this is going to happen. And then take a step back. Four of Swords is kind of like this idea of rest. So, once decisions are made and everyone kind of knows what's going on, don't try not to worry too much about all the ins and outs. Kind of trust everyone in the family to do the things that they have sort of been set out to do. People kind of know their roles. Don't over scrutinize how it's going. Kind of let things happen. And that's going to help you not get so stressed out with all of this as well. Because the change that you're undergoing, this move, is a great thing for all of you. It's actually going to be a net gain for everyone. So be the leader, set out your vision to everybody, communicate it clearly, and then let people do the things they're supposed to do. Don't get too hung up on managing every little detail of that. And as you move forward through that, I think you're going to have a profound realization about yourself here. This is the moon. So this is that inner wisdom. This is a connection to intuition and the divine feminine. It goes along with this queen energy here and the Queen of Swords. And there will be, I think you'll have a bit of a moment. You'll have this epiphany, something about yourself, a realization, a powerful one, about who you are, how you look at the world, maybe around like some of your preferences and ideas about things. It's hard to say exactly. Maybe just a deeper sense of like, I am, powerful. I am the queen of my household. And, I have that power, and and I can wield it in a nurturing, a good way. But that's what I see sort of moving you through this. So yeah, just share your vision, let it happen, and look inward. So thank you for that, Panya. Thank you for showing up tonight. Okay, and last up for now, we have Heist the artist. He is the artist. Oh, I did it again. He is the artist. I do know how to say your name. It is entirely possible that I have mild, some sort of mild neurodivergence, but I've never been tested, so who's to say? You're welcome, Panya. It's always a joy to read for you, so thank you for showing up. Let's heist the art. Yeah. Well, that is, I think that's what my brain does is like, I read he is the, and I read heist. And then like, I think of an art heist, you know, like some like, yeah, like a 90s or 2000s movie. Something like that, you know? There was that, what was the movie in the 90s? It was Pierce Brosnan, I think. It was like an art heist, you know, he was the art thief. Anyhow. Wow, I cannot control these cards. So that's going to be one of your cards for your general reading. Let's see what else we got. Alrighty, 2 more cards. We'll do it this way. Face down. A little bit of drama, a little bit of suspense. What do we got? The Delphic Bee. I love it. So that's sort of in the traditional Rider-Waite, that would be the Hierophant. Welcome in, Phoenix. Thanks for coming in. We're reading for, he is the artist right now, but we'll get you right on the cue. So, general reading, huh? We have the Delphic Bee. The Prince of Jars, which is like cups. And Temperance. So, again, a lot of big transformative cards coming out for everyone tonight. So, the Delphic Bee is an evolution from essentially the Emperor. So you have moved from you're moving from not just you're moving from being able to like create order. So the Emperor, which is the card that precedes this in in tarot, is someone who has become masterful at sort of ruling their land, you know, their domain. So you're able to create the order that you want to see in the world. But as the Emperor, it is purely from a place of practicality and logic. So what makes sense financially, what makes sense practically, what makes sense in terms of like security and the material things in the world. And from the Emperor, you evolve into the Delphic Bee or the Hierophant. The Hierophant is also creating that sort of material order in the world. But in this case, it is an evolution of that. So the deeper inspiration behind this creation, behind the order that you create in your world, is spiritual in nature. And so it's beyond just creating wealth and security and those physically material things. But now those physically manifest things that you're creating embody your soul. So they are you're acting and creating from a deeper inspiration, a deeper purpose, your soul's purpose on this earth. And you are moving from this sort of separate entity, you know, acting on the world around you to being the conduit through which the universe is creating everything that you see. It's a powerful place to be. So that's an evolution for you. And that's what you're moving into here in the next few weeks to month of your life. It's a big one. It's a big transformation. And some of that is going to show up as some new, like a renewed feeling of like youth. So you're going to kind of have a little bit of a return to a childlike wonder and excitement about things. And there might even be a person in your life that sort of symbolizes that as well. But it's going to go hand in hand with your own transformation and sort of sort of picking up a more youthful energy and joy and excitement about the new things and the transformations going on in your life. Because that might have been missing a little bit lately, especially as sort of acting as the emperor before this stage of things. The emperor is very serious and mature. So coming back to a little bit of that innocence is going to be part of this spiritual journey for you. And the final outcome of this is a pretty profound transformation in your beliefs and attitudes about the world. So things that previously felt challenging or heavy to you, or that you had a lot of negative ideas or beliefs around, I think are going to transform into something more positive and helpful to you. And that's really the core of temperance. So that's a lot to look forward to. It might be kind of heavy, that's a big thing. But when it gets heavy, look for that sort of youthful joy in things. And, when you need sort of a break from things, find something that you used to do or can still do, again, with really that youthful joy where you just do it. You don't really care about the outcome. It's just the pure satisfaction of just doing the thing. That's going to help you work through some of this as it starts to feel heavy going forward. So I hope that really landed with you. And thanks for showing up yet again for another week for readings. He is the artist. We greatly appreciate it. And Phoenix, we're going to go right to you as soon as we get a chance. If you have a question, Phoenix, just let us know. And we can go right to you since I don't really have a queue going on right now. And while we're giving you a chance to let us know if you have a question or a general reading, Phoenix, you're welcome. He is the artist. I'm glad that landed with you. I do want to take a moment to let everyone know that I am still teaching tarot classes for beginners. Panya was in our class a few weeks ago, and it's a wonderful thing to do for yourself. If you enjoy these readings and you get a lot out of them, I highly recommend that you learn to read tarot for yourself. And I teach a beginner's class, and it doesn't require a lot of memorization or study, which is why it's so great. A lot of people think that when you learn tarot that you have to go and memorize all these cards. And so you get your deck of cards because you get all excited and you find a deck and you look at all the beautiful art and you start, looking at them all. And then you pull out your book, the little book that comes with it, and you're like, wow, there are 78 of these cards. I can't memorize all this. There's no way. And you throw your deck in the drawer of the bookcase or wherever, and it sits there forever. So you don't have to memorize. You don't have to study tarot like that. It's really not designed to be learned that way. And so with just a few hours, 2 to 3 hours of your time with me on Zoom, it's live, it's hands-on, and it's interactive. And you'll join me and some other classmates in learning how to read tarot in a very intuitive way. And so a lot of reading tarot is just about flipping a card over, looking at it, checking in with your thoughts and feelings and physical feelings as well. And then really reading the story that is told in the picture. And, I think it comes out pretty clearly when I read for all of you. The pictures tell the story. They give you the meaning of the cards in a big way. And so you don't have to do a lot of complex memorization. And also the class is only $18 US. It's quite good for a 3-hour live class. So if you're interested in that, I have a bunch of dates coming up through the summer. Just click through the link in the chat or in the description. And you can sign up and get more info. So I strongly encourage everyone to give that a thought. Thanks for the plug. Phoenix, we will get to your reading right now. And Phoenix asks, what do I need to know about my connection with ER that will help me move forward with peace, whether he returns or not? Okay. So I'm going to assume, and forgive me if I can't remember from earlier readings, but I'm guessing ER is a probably some sort of romantic entanglement. If not, please let me know. And it seems like he has taken off on you in some way. So is guessing there's some kind of breakup, or we're taking a break kind of thing going on there. So let's see what we can find out for you, Phoenix, about ER and what's going on. Well, what's this card? Two of Wands. Okay. Okay, so you were dating at one point, and now you've gone no contact. Okay. And the Queen of Pentacles. This is interesting. So, it's very interesting what we've got here about ER. Okay, Phoenix. So, there's some very strong messages here. So what I get, first of all, Two of Wands. So clearly the point at which, and leading up to the point where this break, the split happened, Two of Wands is like looking out onto the horizon, looking to, new lands, looking to expand things. And so clearly leading into this person had his eye elsewhere. In other words, he or she, they were already sort of looking at or interested in other people other than you. I know that's not a fun thing to hear, but that seems pretty apparent. And my sense is they probably, I can't say for certain, exactly the timing of things when they got involved with this other person, or if they did while you were still together or not. But I'm very strong that, their feelings, their pull towards this other person is what led to one way or another, regardless of exactly how the sort of breakup and no contact situation happened. That was what was leading them in that direction. Even if you're the one who said, maybe we should take a break. But I think they felt pulled to another person. And I get the sense that they probably didn't have the maturity, the emotional maturity to be very direct with you about this. And so maybe they just started acting weird at one point while you were dating. Can't say for certain. Obviously, you would know because you lived through it. But I sense there's a lot of that going on with ER. And so they're very much wrapped up with this other person. I do also sense that this other person is someone that they had some acquaintance with in their past. So it wasn't like they just went out one day and met this person. It was the first time they had met. This is someone that they maybe had been friends with or acquainted with or went to school with sometime in the past. And that's sort of the Eight of Wands, is like things in motion. The results of past actions sort of manifesting in the here and now. Sometimes we do things or we take actions or things happen and we don't see the results right away. And time goes on and then they show up. So they're attracted to and possibly involved with another person, someone that they knew from their past in some capacity or some way. And the message for you here, Queen of Pentacles, is really like one of like moving on. And so I think there's some closure here for you in this reading. And that's going to help you move forward, especially if they're sort of out of contact. So there's probably some of your own questioning about things that is creeping in, some own doubts about yourself probably around this. Like, is it something I did? Even if you were wronged in this relationship and that's how you feel, maybe the feelings of like, what did I do to deserve this kind of thing? And the truth is you don't deserve this. So the queen here, the Queen of Pentacles, is telling you to be very resolute. This person is not the person you're meant to be with. You are meant to find somebody who really fulfills you and is really nurturing and good to you. And this person, and especially at this point in their life and where they're at, just isn't that person. So all in all, it's a better thing for you that you have moved on, that you are not together anymore. And if you're having a lot of doubts or feeling lonely about that, I think you can really put it to rest. And just know that if they are with another person, like, that's where they're meant to be. I don't think that relationship is going to turn out all that great for them, honestly, if the ER is with another person right now. But I also don't sense that they're meant to come back to you. I think you're meant to find somebody else and someone who's better for you. And I think that person's coming. So try to find some closure in that. I hope that at least gives you that. Take time, self-care, take yourself on a date, do some things to pamper yourself, and just really be in that queen energy, spend a little money on yourself if you can, or again, just do something nice for yourself. So I hope that makes some sense, Phoenix. I know it's hard, so okay. So we have Patty. So we will get to your reading, Patty. What are we, an hour in? We'll do your reading next, Patty, and then I am going to take a few minutes. Okay, so Patty asks, am I going to get a lot of home improvements and organization done before winter? So I do have a little bit of an inside track on this because Candy's been telling me about everything going on. So I know you have been, organizing all the yarn and probably a lot of the rest of the house. And I know that you had some home improvements going on as well. So let's see what we can find out about all that for you, Patty. Ah, that's right, Sharon. That is exactly right. Okay, Patty, let's see. What's going on with the homestead out there? Okay. So we have the moon. The moon's been showing up quite a bit. And the Eight of Swords. Okay, cool. And Five of Pentacles. That's an interesting one. So, Patty, there's a lot that you kind of sort of need and want to get done around here, between the organization and some of the home improvements. And it's all good stuff. And generally good things are happening with all of this, but it's a lot. So it's all sort of coming on at the same time. And that's probably going to cause a little bit of, frustration. I don't want to say confusion, because you have a good head on your shoulders, Patty. So I know you know what's going on and how to handle things, but internally it's going to feel a little tough, a little chaotic. Like, can I really manage all of this? So there's a little bit of like inward seeking here. I think what I'm sensing is that you might have to make a few choices, about exactly what you do. And it's not so much about like having the financial means to say, get all the home improvements done and do all the organizing. It's going to be more about time and practicality of everything. So, some of these home improvements, having work done on the house might interfere with your ability to organize things because you might have a bunch of workers there. And also just the energy of, that you have to kind of put into it to manage everything. I mean, it's stressful to have people doing stuff to your house, even if they're just doing the roof. So I think the moon is saying to look inward a little bit, really get in touch with like what is most important to you, have a little bit of sense of priorities, and not just from a more practical mechanical sense, Patty, but what really means the most to you, what would really make you the happiest to take care of first. And if that means maybe putting off some of the physical improvements to the, to your home or whatever, so that you can organize a little better, then do that. Like do what feels great to you. That's going to be the way forward. And then 8 of Swords here shows that all of these things will sort of happen completely. That everything you choose to do will be successful, and that will that's going to bring you to some completion. You're going to feel like, oh, I took care of this stuff. It's going to feel good once you get through it. There's going to be some chaos with that. So as it's happening, it might be like, oh wow, what did I do? One thing that may creep into is a little bit of like fear over the money involved with all of this, so obviously we have to be smart with how we spend money. Neither you or I are, billionaires, right? We don't have that kind of like FU money, like people say. So there's going to be a little bit of that underlying fear that creeps in of like, did we spend too much? Maybe we shouldn't have done all this. Maybe I could have waited on the roof or whatever it is, Patty. But at the end of the day, like, you are prosperous and abundant. And the universe is saying, look, you can do all the things. If you have that fear, if that creeps in, you can put that to rest. The money that you did spend to make these improvements, to organize these things, the time you put into it, will all come back to you tenfold. So, if you do get a little bit worried and sort of, you're nervous about the money you're spending for these things, just know that they are good and worthwhile investments. As long as you're following your heart and really following the things that you really need and want in your life, this will all work out beautifully for you. So just hang on to that, Patty. And as you know, Candy and I are always here for you as you go through that through the summer. So thanks for the request, Patty. And right now what I'm going to do is I am going to take a 5-minute break. We have some new people in. So Robin, thanks for coming in. Yep, Jazzy Bella. So I'm going to get everyone into the queue. And then I'm going to take 5 minutes. And when I come back, we will get to all of your readings in the sort of second half of the of our live here. So we have Anon. And we have Jazzy Bella. And Robin, if you want a reading, I would don't hesitate to give us a request before we get too busy. Sometimes we get real full. So I don't like for people to miss out, but there are limits to how long I can usually do this on a Thursday night. So thanks, Sharon. Get some rest. I hope you continue to recover speedily. Thanks for showing up, okay? And we'll be thinking about you as you recover. So, alrighty. Alrighty. So, like I said, I'm gonna take 5. Myself. There we go. Keep forgetting to unmute myself. So we're back, everyone. Thanks for waiting. We're going to get right to it. So, Anon, you're up next. Oh, let me put Robin on the queue here, too. Robin, you'll be last so far. So, Anon asks, will I get a job abroad soon? I just got rejected from my dream job that I put my efforts into. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Anon. That certainly is disappointing. But I have a feeling that it was actually for your best. That maybe that dream job wouldn't have turned out to be your dream job. Maybe you would have got hired there and then realized that something about it wasn't great. We'll see. Let's see what Spirit has to say about all that. Okay, Anon. So what's going on with your job? Well, we have the world. Interesting. Okay. Powerful card. Judgment. And 5 of Wands. Okay. So, very powerful here. Very powerful reading. First of all, the world. So, as I was saying, because I could feel it, the world is acting in your greatest interest. So, realize that this job that you got turned down for was really your dream job. So, everything you knew about this place of employment, this job, seemed like the perfect thing, the thing you always wanted. And certainly that's disappointing. But the thing about any experience in life, especially jobs, and I've been in, so many. I've had so many different careers and different jobs in my life. And I can tell you that I had some jobs that seemed like they were essentially my dream job. And then once I started working at the place, very quickly, it was not good. There's politics and personal dynamics that go on in a workplace that you don't really understand until you work there and work there for a while. And so I sense that the universe is looking out for you by not giving you this job, that there is something better suited for you out there that you will be really happy with, that will bring you the pay and the compensation that you're looking for. And that is aligned with you. And so the world is here churning, and it is working to bring you really the perfect job. And that's going to come. And when it does, it's going to feel like this rebirth. So that that speaks to timing a little bit, in the sense that I think it's going to come. It's going to come soon, but not quite as soon as maybe you would like it to. It's going to take just long enough that you start to, worry a bit, where you're like, oh man, is this really happening? What's going on here? That's how long it's going to take. I don't know how exactly long that is for you. But there's going to be this feeling of being reborn. And then the thing that does come to you, the offer that you get, the job that you do get abroad, will in some way is actually going to be better than what you thought was your dream job. It might be better compensation. It's probably going to be a better work environment for you, maybe even in a place that you actually really love to be in, since you're talking about going abroad. And so there's like a rebirth there that comes with it. And I also sense that this new job is one that will involve quite a bit of like a team. You will be working as part of a team. And maybe that was true for your dream job as well. But there's going to be some good people there, and maybe that's why you're meant to go to this other job. You're going to have coworkers with you who support you, and who will want to work with you to help you succeed, and you will want to work with them. So there's going to be a lot more teamwork there. And maybe this job that you were turned down for, maybe it really wasn't that way. Maybe the culture there was much more like every person for themselves, and much more sort of cutthroat and competitive. I think there's going to be a greater sense of teamwork from your coworkers at this new place. So it is coming. Something really good is coming to you. And just hang on for it. Be patient. Don't try too hard. Don't try to search for it too hard. You do have to put yourself out there and apply for things and talk to people, but don't get too wrapped up in that. Because when it does happen, it's going to be really awesome for you, Anonymous. So, yeah, that's what I see coming down the road. I hope that is helpful to you. If you weren't here for it, hopefully you're catching this on the replay, because you certainly can. These are always available for replay on my YouTube channel. So be sure to subscribe to the channel and click the like button as well. Okay. And up next we have Jazzy Bella. Jazzy Bella is wondering what's coming up for my love life, past or new. Okay. And then Robin, you'll be next. Wow, I'm having a hard time shuffling today. It's crazy. Okay, Jazzy. What's coming up in your love life? Well, 3 of Hearts. So 3 of Hearts, the 7 of Pentacles, and the 2 of Swords. Okay, Jazzy. So, well, this is a little bit like past, present, and future, I'd say, regarding your love life. So, you definitely have had your fair share of, heartbreak in the past. And to some extent, you're still carrying some of that pain around with you. So that's important to be aware of, because it can show up in current or new relationships. You have some past, pain, again, from a past relationship. And while generally you're over that relationship, you're not just dwelling on it every day or anything like that. There's some unresolved pain there that you haven't fully allowed yourself to grieve and feel. And so as you're carrying that around, it can show up in current and future relationships. So you do want to be aware of that, because you don't really want to, react to your current partner, out of something from your past. We all sort of do that. The traumas that we carry around, the pain that we do carry around with us, we're reacting to that. And so current situations can trigger that. And the current situation isn't really the past. So sit with that a bit. But moving forward into the present and the future, there is a lot of prosperity in your love life coming. So the 7 of Pentacles is like seeds that you've planted. And so this suggests to me that maybe someone that you've been acquainted with for a while, in a casual way, might sort of grow. That your casual acquaintance might grow into a relationship. You might get an opportunity to hang out with this person, or engage in engage in some kind of activity together or something, and it's going to kindle something beyond just this like casual friendship you have with this person. Or maybe it's someone that you did have an interest in the past, but for whatever reason you just didn't get together. They were with someone else, or you were with someone else, or whatever. But some kind of relationship that you've already nurtured in some way is going to grow and progress into something romantic, I sense. And so there's an abundance there. And with that abundance, there might be some choices. So in addition to this person, there might be someone else as well who comes along, maybe around, near the same time. And so you might have to make some choices between people as well. And so that's the Two of Swords here, is always this sort of card of both balance but choice. And the moon is here to remind us that if you're really struggling with that choice, that you really need to follow your heart, your deepest feelings and beliefs. And that is just so important. So, pretty interesting stuff. But again, I think someone you already know is going to sort of progress. That relationship will progress into something greater and more romantic. So, a fun thing to look forward to in the summer. Welcome in, India. We will certainly get you in the queue as well. And up next, we do have Robin. So, Robin, you're up for your reading. And Robin asks, should I follow my own path that I have been taking, even though other people would like if I had a job? Okay. Always a very good question. Okay, it's 52 card pickup. Alrighty. My favorite card game. Okay, Robin. Well, that's definitely one of your cards. Okay. Everything's flying out of the deck today. So, 6 of coins. The Queen of Wands. And 5 of Swords. So, it's all very interesting. And yes, if anyone is new in here tonight and you just haven't subscribed, please do subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button, leave a comment, click the bell icon as well so that you always get notified when we go live or have other content updated. Okay, Robin, so this is very interesting. Overall, I am getting a strong sort of pull towards the answer of job, of like the universe, spirit is saying to you and encouraging you to find some sort of job that you can work at, even if it isn't the end all be all, even isn't truly full time, or you pour every bit of yourself into it. The universe is pulling you in that direction. And so it's pretty interesting, though, the messages here. So we have the 6 of Pentacles, and as before in one of the earlier readings, this is one of these things of like charity. It's it's a card of giving and charity. And so I know that you are, a very giving person, Robin. And, you like to help people that you care about. So you are a very generous person. And so part of working this job is, you know, it's your own abundance, it's your own bank account, sure, but it's also like it furthers your ability to be generous to others as well. And also to be more discerning about who you help and who you don't help and how much you help others as well. Because like a lot of us, I sense that maybe you sort of overgive at times. And sometimes that creates problems or struggles for you because maybe you've given more than you really could afford to at times in some way, even if it's just time and attention and not really money. So I think the job is important for that. And yeah, there's slippery cards, Robin. So the shuffling is always tricky. So having this position might help you have a little more discernment with that and give you a little more ability to feel like you can share with others more the way you'd like to. And then Queen of Wands here also speaks to this. Like, this tells me that you are certainly capable and competent to take on, the right position, the right job somewhere. And so you do need to find something that kind of suits you and what, is going to work for you in a practical sense. But you have that ability. You are competent and capable. And then the Five of Swords here is also really interesting because it's kind of like looking back over your shoulder and that kind of thing. But it is like a sense of victory. And so with this, I sense maybe some of your resistance to getting a job or to working is that you have family telling you that you need to do this. And so part of you is kind of rebellious. So you're like, I don't want to do this because these people are telling me to do this. And I don't want to just, I don't, it's not their place, or I don't feel like they have a right to like order me around. And so if you're taking a job, then you're giving into that. It's almost like you're letting them win. And the Five of Swords is really a reminder that that's not the case. If you choose to work, if you go find a job, you're doing that of your own free will. You chose to do that because it is, you believe and you feel that it is what is best for you. And so, if the idea of finding a job doesn't feel good to you because you're like, I'm sick of these people telling me what to do, my family telling me what to do. And so, I want to thumb my nose at them, if you will. Getting a job doesn't mean you're giving in to them. It doesn't mean they're winning. The universe is telling you that working is something that is a victory for you. It is actually good and beneficial to you. So I think you should continue to pursue that, regardless of whether your family wants you to or not. It's going to be a positive thing for you, Robin. So I hope that makes some sense. Yeah, it is really hard to shuffle cards to, this sort of the standard common sort of shuffling, what we call the riffle. This is called a riffle shuffle, and then this is called a bridge. And it's not easy to do, even with regular playing cards. When I was younger, I couldn't do this for a long time. My hands are of an average size for someone who is 5'4", being a man, but I do not, compared to a lot of people, I do not have the biggest hands in the world. So it's not the easiest thing for me either. But I played a lot of card games as a kid. I spent a lot of time playing poker as an adult, and I got pretty good at dealing and shuffling cards. So, but you don't have to shuffle that way, especially if you're reading tarot. You can shuffle however you like. Throwing them all in a box and shaking them around totally works. Yeah, Queen of Wands, very powerful. Okay, India, we'll get to you. All right, and India asks, does John P. still have romantic feelings for me? And what a wonderful way to close out the evening. The last reading being a love reading. I love it. It's a beautiful thing. It'll probably be the last one. Unless other people show up. But thank you for the last reading for the night, India. Yes, Panya. So you can get, I would be careful about buying a mini one because you might get one that's like keychain sized and it's so tiny. But they make them, like, especially the standard rider weight, you can get them sort of, they're called playing card sized. And so they're much smaller. But do some shopping because they do make a lot of decks in different sizes. So you can find some smaller ones that are easier to shuffle. Okay, India, what's going on with John P? And does he still have feelings for you? Well, India, I do sense that things with John P ended in a fairly abrupt manner. I mean, the Ten of Swords here, I mean, the imagery of this is like swords in the back. And so maybe there was some kind of betrayal between the two of you. I don't know. Welcome in, Arif. We will certainly read for you tonight as well. So yes, India, there's a sense of like, that the ending of this relationship was pretty rough in some way. But there's a totality to it. And so what I get out of this, especially with death and the Ten of Swords, is that, I mean, John P.'s feelings towards you are that he has no desire to be back in a relationship with you. And so in that sense, he does not have feelings for you, but he does feel things about you. And so this Queen of Cups is really interesting because I think as much as he feels like he wouldn't get back in a relationship with you, I think he deep down inside, and he might not even realize it, he has some deep feelings that however this ended, whatever the circumstances were, that this was something that was his fault in some way, that he caused or created this. Or maybe that he wasn't even like deserving of you. And so I think on some level he misses you. But I also feel like he is in a space where he is nowhere close to considering like getting back together with you or even really reaching out to you at this point. I don't know if you're in contact right now. But there are some like deep feelings of regret here. And sort of, again, this like wounding. And so I think that Queen of Cups is like a deeper realization of like, I screwed this up, coming from, in his point of view, that he screwed this up. Or there's something about him that is inadequate or he wasn't worthy of you. And so even if he was the one who like broke up with you or caused the breakup, it was coming from a sort of sense of like self-loathing, more than he was displeased with you. So at least, maybe you can take some comfort in that, in a sense that it really wasn't you or your fault that this ended. But I don't sense that he is anywhere close to entertaining the idea of really, reaching out to you or getting involved with you again. He has really like put this relationship to rest at this point. So sorry if that's not exactly what you wanted to hear, but I think it's a very accurate sort of message from Spirit. So, okay, Arif, we will get to you. And you'll probably be the last one tonight. So every time I say that, we get like one more person. But oh, thank you for coming in, Arif. No, you've been perfectly well mannered, Arif. Please no need to apologize. We're always happy to have you here. So you've been showing up for quite some time, my friend. So I'm glad to see you tonight, especially after being off air for almost a month. So. All right, Arif. Thank you, India. We appreciate you. Absolutely. Okay. And you're asking Arif, what is my partner Victor's feelings towards me, and if he is seeing someone else? Okay. Another love reading. Okay. All right. What is Victor? Some feelings. Okay, so we have the Chariot here. Oh, and there's the Judgment again. Yep, love tonight. So first and foremost, I don't get any sense from Spirit that that Victor is seeing anyone else at the moment. So there's that. That's conclusive to me. As far as Victor's feelings towards you, and without any regard to the actual circumstance at this moment, Victor has some very strong feelings towards you. So this is like the Chariot. It's like this powerful feeling, like he's being pulled towards you. And it's like this unstoppable force. There's a momentum there. And that's really exciting. But I sense that for whatever reason, Victor, this is kind of scary to him. And it's not anything having to do with you. But this sort of uncontrollable love, this attraction, for him is kind of a scary thing. It makes him feel like he's not in control. And he's the kind of person who needs to feel in control. And so it's causing some tension. It's causing him to hold back in how he expresses himself to you, or whether he expresses himself to you at all. And maybe when you do interact with him, or when you have in the past, he's acted kind of weird. That's not because of anything you've done. That is him unable to come to terms with this powerful attraction that he has towards you. So he's scared of that, but he has not given up. So he's moving through that, and Judgment says that that's going to change soon. Yeah, he is kind of an emotional wreck. So part of this also is that he's probably going through some emotional transformation, and your relationship, or his feelings for you, if you're not actually in a relationship yet. Yeah, so you have to beg him to, yeah. So he's holding back. He's someone who's generally afraid of embracing his own emotions. And so this is the kind of thing that it takes time for people to work through and get past this. And so it is good for you to continue to encourage him to be honest with you about how he feels. And also just encouraging him to just allow himself to feel these things, even if they're uncomfortable. So there's a lot going on here. And so again, like, his attraction towards you is scary for him because he is afraid to feel emotions in general. But that is a sign that he is changing and transforming, that he is growing through this. These things take time. And so Judgment is that card of rebirth. He is going through this rebirth. And it's good for you to stick with this, I think. If you've been together for 2 years, and you've probably had some pretty big ups and downs, I think there's something to that. But also, like, don't try to push him too hard. You know, you can't force people into healing. You know, we talk about healing as work, as like inner work. But we can get too wrapped up in it too, of like, I have to do this. You know, a lot of it, again, is just allowing yourself to be. Yeah, well, that transformation is coming, but it's going to run its course. You know, it's going to take the time that it needs to. And so the best thing to do is to not lose sleep over this. Clearly this has caused some turmoil in your lives. So just stick with him and be patient, and just keep gently encouraging him to, again, like, share how he feels with you. And yeah, and be supportive and hold space, as we like to say. But if he's too resistant, then you got to just give him his space and let it evolve over time. And you say you've been together for like over 2 years now. I'm sure if you look back and really thought about it, you can see that even though he's still struggling and you're struggling together, that he probably has made some progress. Really think carefully about who he was 2 years ago. You might start to see, like, oh yeah, he is actually changing. But it takes time, and that's just how human beings are. And so if you're losing sleep over it, try to let that go. Give yourself some space once in a while. Take a little time for yourself. Hang out with some friends. Yeah, Panya's advice of, just respectful responses. Ask questions. Let him just share. But I sense that he is transforming and that together you are growing. And I think you have the foundation. You may be building the foundations of something really good here. A lot of my early relationship with Candy was a lot of that, where like we knew we were meant to be together, but we were two people we were very broken people, and so there were a lot of times where, and especially it was Candy looking at me and wondering, like, is he always going to be this miserable? I was just never happy with anything, even when good things were happening. And she was never going to leave me for that. But there was a lot of times where she kind of just worried, like, this is going to be our life, where he's just always grumpy and I'm always trying to put those fires out just to make him happy. And we had a lot of breakthroughs over all these years. So it can happen and you can grow together. It's happening. So have some faith with that. And thank you so much for that question, Arif. Yeah, Candy Hearts Art is my wonderful wife and our moderator. She's sitting right in the other room. I can see her from right here. And one day we will get her mic'd up too, so that she can chime in a bit here and there. Or maybe even we'll have her read for some of us one day. She is starting to learn to read. So when she feels comfortable, we might have her do it. So yeah, we've had a wonderful relationship for going on. Well, we've been together for like 16 years and married for 13 years. So it's a beautiful thing. Yeah. So thank you everyone for showing up tonight. Thank you, Arif. Thank you everyone else. And, I promise we will absolutely be back next week. And I'll be back on every week again, going through the summer and into the fall until we get to like winter holidays. So thanks for turning out. I love you all and have a beautiful week.